Welcome to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast, the podcast that empowers you to turn your dreams into reality using the law of attraction. I'm your host, Papi DiNuzzo, and together we'll dive into the mindset, strategies, and energy shifts you need to create the life you've always envisioned. Whether it's health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, or spirituality. Inspired by my transformative book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, each episode brings you practical tools, inspiring stories, and bold insights to unlock your limitless potential. Get ready to manifest your greatness, and let's dive in.
Podcast disclosure. The following podcast is by DiNuzzo Private Wealth, Inc. DiNuzzo is for general informational purposes only. No portion of the podcast serves as the receipt of or as a substitute for personalized investment advice from DiNuzzo. Different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk, and it should not be assumed that future performance of any specific investment or investment strategy or any non-investment related or planning services, discussion, or content will be profitable, be suitable for your portfolio or individual situation, or prove successful. No portion of the podcast content should be construed by a client or prospective client as a guarantee that he or she will experience a certain level of results if DiNuzzo is engaged or continues to be engaged to provide investment advisory services. Namaste, this is Mikey, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today along with Manifestation Mindset Coach Papi DiNuzzo on the Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. If you're a successful entrepreneur looking to take your business, life, and impact to the next level, the Papi DiNuzzo Elite Manifestation Mastermind may be the answer for you. This is where high-level strategy aligns with ancient wisdom within a room full of purpose meets profit entrepreneurs who are dedicated to elevating their mindset, their energy, their results, and their fellow brothers and sisters. If you're ready to manifest, grow, stretch, and really step into the next higher version of yourself, this mastermind was built for you. Also, I'd like to remind everyone who hasn't already, please go over to Papi's social media content. He has a continuous stream of positive energy and a lot of positive content for us to follow. So I highly recommend that you follow, share, and like on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now let's go to Papi to set the table.
Well, thank you so much, Mikey. Thank you so much, Kim, for both you putting together and putting on a great show today. I'm very appreciative, very grateful, and very thankful. My fellow brothers and sisters, namaste, namaste. My wonderful, beautiful, intelligent fellow brothers and sisters, the spirit in me greets the spirit in you. I want to congratulate you as always. I want to congratulate each and every one of you on the greatest day of your life. Today is the greatest day of your life, my fellow brothers and sisters. It can be no other way. The universe is eternally grounded in the present. I get asked quite often, Papi, can you help me manifest? And my answer, as you've heard me say before, if you've listened in to our wonderful podcast, my fellow brothers and sisters, you've manifested everything in your life. 97% plus of our fellow brothers and sisters, over 97 out of 100, do not understand the awe-inspiring creative power that they possess within them. All I do is offer you suggestions, my fellow brothers and sisters. I just offer you suggestions. I let this resonate with your subconscious mind and let you make the decisions. I stay neutral as to everything. I stay neutral as to politics. I especially stay neutral as to religion. I never discuss religion. I'm coming to you from a perspective of 100% pure spirituality. My suggestion to you is, if you are stuck, if you are depressed, if you're forlorn, if you're upset, if you're despondent, that with all due respect, my fellow brothers and sisters, I'm suggesting that you are stuck in the past. You're looking to the side as I talk about, back here to the side. You will never manifest anything you can imagine. If you're stuck in fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, you're looking in the opposite direction. You're stuck worrying about the future. My fellow brothers and sisters, you will never be in the past. You will never be in the future. It's impossible from a quantum physics perspective. All you have is the present. I tell you to keep your elbows up against your rib cage and just like two karate chops, keep yourself in between your hands right here. Always keep your head where your feet are at. Pause and stop throughout the day and just take an assessment. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about something from 5 days ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 35 years ago? You're thinking you're in the past, you'll never manifest. The universe is eternally grounded in the present. It's eternally grounded in the present. So I suggest you, my fellow brothers and sisters, always stay in the present, always think in the present. It's your thoughts, your feelings and emotions, your actions and your words. I try to have a lot of acronyms to remember things. TFAW, think it, feel it, take action on it. And I remind you, your words are so powerful, my fellow brothers and sisters. Each word that comes out of your mouth, each word that you allow into your ears carries a meaning. Each word, not an entire book, not an entire chapter, not an entire paragraph, not an entire sentence, not an entire phrase. Each word is how powerful these universal laws are. Be extraordinarily careful for every word that comes out of your mouth and every word that you allow in your ears. Each word carries meaning, carries vibration, and carries frequency. The magic all starts up above in your thoughts, your imagination, your ideas, and your thoughts. The creator of all designed the greatest system, and you will never figure this out. I ran into a lot of our fellow brothers and says, Papi, I need to figure this out first. This is quantum physics and neuroscience and spirituality beyond your wildest comprehension, my fellow brothers. You will never, ever figure this out. You will never, ever figure this out. I ask you to open up and allow this genius to come into you and accept the powerful gifts you've been given. All this power starts in your imagination, your ideas, and your thoughts. Your mind does not recognize the difference between you looking at something right now versus you closing your eyes and you visualizing anything, manifest anything you can imagine. Use this wonderful power, my fellow brothers and sisters. As Buddha said, you will become what you think. That's exactly what I'm talking about right now. You will become what you think. You will attract what you feel. You will create what you imagine, is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly not what I'm talking about. When Yeshua, Jesus said that the kingdom lives within you, the kingdom of heaven lives within you, this is exactly what he was talking about. When Yeshua, Jesus said, the keys to the kingdom live within you, this is exactly what he was talking about. In all of the most wonderful ancient scriptures and ancient texts across all historical documents, my fellow brothers and sisters, over thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of years, you hear the same advice coming to us from the ancient masters over and over on different continents. They never spoke to each other. They knew nothing about each other. You hear the same things coming through over and over again. It all starts with your imagination, with your ideas, and with your thoughts. It's magnified by your feelings and your emotions. I call that the secret sauce. That's what takes it to the next level. You always get to complete your manifestation, your creation by your actions, your efficient, inspired, joyful actions. And along the way, as you're thinking, when you're using your imagination, there are words involved. When you are applying your feelings and emotions, there's often words involved. When you're taking action, there are often words involved. I suggest to you, my fellow brothers and sisters, with as much love as you can ever imagine, that you have underestimated beyond your wildest comprehension the gifts you've been given and the ability for you to co-create with source energy. You are the finite complementing the infinite, the infinite, the infinite. You're complementing it. You have a perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA, and a perfect spiritual spark. And my suggestion to you is that your spiritual spark is the exact same as the creator of all. That's the perfection. That's how you co-create with source, with the creator of all. You are a fractal. You are a fractal of all, everything. The large is contained within the small, The small is contained within the large. We see this over and over, not just on this tiny little planet Earth we live on, throughout the entire galaxy, throughout the entire universe. There are universes upon universes upon universes. There are galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies. There are timelines upon timelines upon timelines. We see this everywhere over and over. So, my fellow brothers and sisters, I ask for you at the beginning of our podcast today, what is Pappy talking about? Open your mind, open your imagination, open your ideas, open your thoughts, open up to the possibility that you are special. You heard me say before, I don't give any participation trophies. I don't patronize anyone. I am telling you with the strongest suggestion I possibly can that you have been given special gifts beyond your wildest comprehension. So I'm going to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank you for Kim for putting together and directing and producing the greatest show, for Mikey being a wonderful co-host with myself. And I want to thank Mikey and Kim from the bottom of my heart and all of our fellow brothers and sisters who are listening in today. Namaste, my wonderful, beautiful fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining us on the Pappy Manifestation Mindset podcast today for that is manifest anything you can imagine. So thank you all. And Mike, I'm super excited about our podcast for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Pappy. Here we are, just a few minutes into the podcast already, and you gave us a lot of powerful knowledge in just those few short minutes. So thank you so much for that. It's a powerful introduction. Also, a few months ago, you recently were a guest speaker at the Elite Global Leaders Conference in Deer Valley, Utah. Can you share some of that experience with us?
Yes, Mikey, I'll share. I'll just dip my toe into the water a little bit here. Then I'm going to fold this into my coaching tip. And it's always amazing, my fellow brothers and sisters. One of the biggest things that I work with our brothers and sisters on is them getting started, so to speak. And you've heard me say before, you've heard this phrase from other brothers and sisters as well, that nothing can start to go up until it stops going down. If something's in a free fall going down, it can't start to go up until it stops. Then and only then can it start to ascend. And we as human beings, when it comes to manifesting, not to oversimplify, but there's three broad categories that our brothers and sisters run into challenges with. The first one is you've heard me talk about drawing that large circle around my head. If you can visualize like a white fluorescent magic marker, I'm drawing a big circle around my head with a horizontal line through the middle, and I put a C on the top half of that circle. They call that the dome on the top for my conscious mind, or your conscious mind. An SC on the bottom part of that circle, I call that the bowl, the bottom half of the circle. Little line going down to a much smaller circle for my body, and a line up on each side for arms and hands, and a line going down on each side for legs and feet. That is your mind, your conscious mind working in harmony with your subconscious mind, working in harmony with your body. And some of the biggest challenges our brothers and sisters have reside in three areas, Mikey, when it comes to challenging and manifesting in our conscious mind. Its number one job is to protect your subconscious mind at all costs. The magic happens in your subconscious mind. 95% of what you manifest on earth comes from your subconscious mind. And we have all of these, we think of these as arrows coming towards our conscious mind. And we want you to deflect those away like a force field would do with the spaceship. It's deflecting these away. Anything that gets our fellow brothers and sisters into a low or negative vibration, a de-energized vibration, low frequency. And these outside arrows coming at you could be something as simple as the weather report. It's the weather report, something you see on your computer, something you hear on the news, on the television, something you hear in social media from a family member, from a friend. Any screen that I talk about, the screens, your smartphone screen, your laptop, your television, your computer. Be extraordinarily careful as to what's coming at you, my fellow brothers and sisters. I talked to you about the power of a single word earlier today already. If something comes toward you and it's coming into your ear and you do not cancel or reject that, your subconscious mind says, you're the king, you're the queen, you're the boss. I'm taking action on that because my boss did not cancel, reject it. I'm taking that with the same power and authority as if they told that to me myself. That's how powerful you are. So you simply cancel, reject these negative pieces of energy that are coming at you, these negative thoughts that are coming in, these negative words, these negative concepts, and you just simply don't put any emotion into it. You just simply cancel, reject. I cancel that. I reject it. Cancel, reject. You can say no, nope. You can say I refuse to participate. And it's just like you're flicking it away with a finger. You don't put a whole lot of energy into it, but you do not let that come into your subconscious mind. So you have all these external forces coming at you throughout the day. And I was talking with a gentleman the other day, Mike, and he finally figured out, he was saying, Papi, I love cancel or reject. And he said, but some things I've been doing, he said, some days I'm saying cancel, reject, and cancel, reject. He said, I'm saying it an awful lot. And even made the analogy back to the Seinfeld episode when they were talking about, I think it was like Serenity Now, something like that. Yeah, if you're having to say it too much, that was my coaching tip to him. We were talking, Mikey. I said, take a look at your environment. Where are you at? You will find something as simple, my fellow brothers and sisters, as a restaurant. If you go out to get something to eat, and when you start to become in tune with your vibration, you can start to associate, you know, to be an exact number, but on a scale of 1 to 10, you'll start to associate. You'll say, you know what, when I go in this certain restaurant to eat, the vibration here is like a 7 or 8 or 9. It's like a really good vibration. And you'll notice when you go into other restaurants or bars or lounges or whatever it is in that category, social places, you'll say, man, I notice every time I'm in here, the vibration's like a 2 or a 3. And that's what I was going through with the gentleman I was coaching up the other day is that is time for you to extricate yourself to get out of the 2s and the 3s, get out of these low vibration social gathering areas or spaces, restaurants, lounge, bars, just any area that it could be. You could potentially go to a library with a high vibration, and another library that may be equidistant from your home may have a very negative vibration by the folks or brothers and sisters working there, whatever it is. So this is equally important where you're not having to literally say cancel, reject all day long. You manage this by your fellow brothers and sisters that you associate with. Who do you spend time with? Who do you talk with on the phone? Who do you spend time with in a physical presence? Who do you spend time with in a virtual presence? And it's very simple. Accentuate the positive and expand that and decompress and compress rather the negative. Make it smaller, truncate it, shrink it up. And just by this, you won't have to be saying cancel, reject nearly as much. You'll manage it by your people, places, and things where you're at with your physical self. So very extraordinarily important. The next area is in our subconscious, in our conscious mind, rather. That's coming into towards our conscious mind. The next one is in our conscious mind. And I always spell it, Mikey, stacked on top of each other, ego, E-G-O. I put the ego on the E on top, the G below it, and the O below that. And I stack it up in the conscious mind. And I want you thinking, my fellow brothers and sisters, right now, if you don't have video, I've got my thumb and my pointing finger, and I'm squishing that ego, squishing it down to nothing, squishing it down to nothing. We were given ego to help manage our physical being here on earth, but it often goes haywire or runs wild or applies itself in excess. Our ego, we just want that just to manage our day today, but we do not want that becoming unruly, being unwielding, and taking over your life. So you want to be very careful with your ego because that's grounded in the 3D. I told you, but we're in a transition. We're on the highway from 3D to 5D right now. We're in the big shift to the new earth, and your ego is not going to help you to get to the 5D. Finally, we get down into the bowl, the rich treasure of your subconscious mind, and this is where your limiting beliefs live. And we'll spend a lot of time on limiting beliefs when I'm coaching. I spend a lot of time there. A surprising number of these were embedded in I call it your hardware and software operating system by family members, by your mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever it was that raised you, especially the first 6, 7 years you were here on earth. extraordinarily important when your conscious mind was not fully developed. We'll take a look at that and what are these limiting beliefs that were placed within you. Sometimes it can be, of course, brothers and sisters, siblings, other family members, school teachers, coaches. What were you told and how much of that stuck with you and is still stuck with you today? If you would just write down on a piece of paper what you think you should do, I should, just write that out and take your time and come up with as many answers as you can. And when you write out, I should, this is a very good indicator of the limiting beliefs in your subconscious mind because this is not coming from you. These are things that you're either self conscious about or feeling guilty about or something that's still with you from, again, typically when you were younger than 10 years of age, when this came into your life and is still with you. And as you know, I try to keep things as simple as possible, but you can't solve any problem unless you know what it is. You can't come up with an answer unless you know what the equation is. So just by knowing what the challenge is, that's at least 80% of the battle. So when it comes to limiting beliefs, one quick little exercise you can do, just writing out what I should. What do you think you should do? When you're talking to yourself, you should do this. When your self-talk is saying, you should do this, you should do that, you should do more of this, whatever it's telling you, write those down and analyze those. And a lot of those, Mikey, I would suggest would just wash away just from looking at them because most of our audience members are at least in their 20s and are grown adults and will realize the folly in what limiting beliefs they have, and I call that the virus in your hardware and software operating system. It'll be very obvious to you just looking at those, and you'll realize as an adult that you can just eliminate those from your life, that eliminate those from your life. They never were applicable, and are certainly not applicable now. So thank you, Mikey, for letting me share that.
Of course, and you talked a lot about the negativity that surrounds a lot of us, and we don't even realize that it's surrounding us. Like you mentioned about going like low vibration places. And it's funny because there's a post office right down the road from here, and I will not go to that post office because they have such negative energy that I will
Yes,
actually
sir.
drive across the river to go to a different post office just because I don't want to surround myself with that. So it's so true. But another thing that you can do is just filter what you take in. So when you go to your email, instead of looking at all the spam and all the negativity, sign up for Pappy's weekly email that he sends out with 2 concepts to live by. He just reminds us that repetition is our key to manifesting success. And with so much negativity that we were just talking about, it's just happy to get that positive message in your in your inbox. In your inbox, in your email. And I know you have one lined up that you're going to share with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Mikey. That's one of your special gifts with how you bring these things to life, and I love that you do a great job of explaining these and bringing these into everyday life for our fellow brothers and sisters, for our listeners. So Mikey just said there, I was trying to be polite when I mentioned the word specifically, Mikey, equidistance from your house. But as you mentioned, when you get better at this, like Mikey is, you start to realize the cost benefit of staying away from that negative energy. So what Mikey's telling you is, I'm talking about equidistant. If something is 1 mile to the east and 1 mile to the west, identify it. What Mikey's saying is, I've got something that's 2 blocks to the east, and maybe I have to drive 5 miles to the west. And you'll start to do that math, my brothers and sisters, say, for me protecting my vibration, my frequency, and my energy, and the signal I'm sending out to the universe from which I'm manifesting from all day long, every second of the day. That's your launch point. That's your state. That's your boomerang launch point that you're sending it out. I'll gladly drive 5 miles to a similar business to do business with them because of how much greater the vibration, the frequency, the energy is. So just by doing that, my fellow brothers and sisters, that ties back into the conversation I had with the gentleman, Mikey, just a week or two ago, where you're not having to go and cancel, reject, and or with the law of attraction, my brothers and sisters, just remember the smallest interaction. If you have the smallest of negative thoughts, just with the way that the universe works is your next most likely thought. If you have the smallest negative thought, your next most likely thought is going to be a negative thought because of the law of attraction, like attracts like. The smallest positive thought, next most likely thought that you're going to have is another positive thought because of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. So this is how powerful it is. So thank you, Mikey, for sharing a wonderful real life example of how we just get in a zone of automatically. So what Mikey's talking about is you just get where you're automatically going to restaurant A instead of restaurant B, going to post office C instead of post office D, going to a supermarket X instead of supermarket Y. You start to automatically and without any additional effort or time or effort, you start to improve your life dramatically by the vibration that you're staying in all day long. I ideally don't want you going below a neutral vibration all day long. And invariably, something could obviously happen where you get into a negative vibration. But I want you getting out of that negative vibration as soon as possible. This all starts when I tell you, my fellow brothers and sisters, keep your inner circle as small as possible. Think of like 5 people or less. And you want everyone in your inner circle at or above your level of vibration. And this will stick out to you like a sore thumb as soon as you start to pay attention. And it's the same thing Mikey just talked about. You start pre selecting a lot of this. And Rome wasn't built overnight. It may take a while to minimize some time that you spend in some relationships, the phone conversations, the virtual interaction. It could be FaceTime on your phone or Zoom on your computer. It can be whatever it is, but eliminating, reducing and eliminating the negative and accentuating and growing the positive. And as I say, my fellow brothers and sisters, I'm here to help you build the greatest manifesting lifestyle. This is all about your lifestyle. There is no pill for this. Pappy's never told you there's a pill. I would never intimate there's a pill. There's no pill for this. This is you changing your life one day at a time for the better. And the next 365 days of the year, I want you to have at least 300 days that you win and maybe only 65 that you lose or break even. I want you to turn this around. Most of our brothers and sisters are only winning 65 days and are losing 300 to turn this around. And this is exactly in these little details, these golden nuggets that we're giving you on how to do this. Next, Mikey went into the concepts to live by. When Mikey mentioned emails, it's the same thought that crosses me there, Mikey, is I get emails, and if I pick up on the energy of an email in my inbox, there's some emails I won't look at for a day. I know that I'll get to respond to it. It's something that needs responded to, needs a response at some point in time, but I will purposely let it sit for a day, let it sit for 3 days, maybe let it sit for a week before I respond to it, because I'm not going to engage with negative energy at a wrong point in time when I'm going into a big meeting, a face-to-face, a live meeting, a virtual meeting. Get ready to send a very important email response, make a very important phone call, whatever it is. So my fellow brothers and sisters, being proactive and protecting yourself proactively is extraordinarily important. As Mikey mentioned here, the concepts to live by, we send these out every week. The concept here is happy Pappy. I love being happy. I want you to be happy. I want you to come into our tribe and I want you to be happy. I want you to enjoy life. I want you to build confidence. I want you to realize that you can manifest anything you can imagine. Go on to social media. We're on 5 major channels. It's all positive. That's my whole goal, is that you can go from positive message to positive message to positive message. What did I say? You've got these arrows coming towards you, your conscious mind all day long. Most media is there to place fear in you. It's to get you to worry, to have doubt, anxiety. I'm sharing the exact opposite message: love, light, truth, and goodness, awakening, getting you to access your inner knowing within you, remembrance, but especially love, light, truth, and goodness. Who doesn't want to step into that? Who doesn't want to step into love instead of hate? Who doesn't want to step into light instead of darkness? Who doesn't want to step into truth instead of deception? Who doesn't want to step into good instead of evil? This is what I'm offering my fellow brothers and sisters. That's the message. And we send out, as Mikey said, our weekly concepts to live by. I'll just go through one of the ones we sent out this last week, Mikey, and that's imagination. And again, I mentioned this wonderful, key, powerful word a number of times on our podcast already today. Your imagination, my fellow brothers and sisters, your ideas, your thoughts. Albert Einstein said, pay attention. Excuse me, pay attention to your imagination. It is an indication of the coming features to come in your life. It is showing you your future. This is where you build your future, through your imagination, through your ideas, and through your thoughts. And my fellow brothers and sisters, you can imagine anything. That's what I titled my book, Manifest Anything. You can imagine. And I'm a very literal person. And those are 5 very literal words. I told you words carry meaning, words carry vibration, and words carry frequency. Manifest anything you can imagine. Use your imagination. Take at least once a day or 2 or 3 times in peace and quiet, especially when you first wake up in the morning, right before you go to sleep at night. You've heard me talk before about how important your waking ritual is when you first wake up in the morning, especially most importantly, how important your sleeping ritual is right before you go to sleep at night. And throughout the day, take a pause throughout the day. Take 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 or 15 if you can. Just close your eyes and just imagine and just think of what you want in your life. Health, better physical health, better mental wellness, and visualize it and give gratitude for it as if it is complete, as if it is done, as if you are living it. That's what pulls it into your life. Your thoughts, applying your feelings and emotions. These words, these wonderful, glorious, powerful words that you're telling yourself in your self-talk, and the actions that you take to complete it. So pause throughout the day, especially when you wake up in the morning before you go to sleep at night, and use your imagination. I told you earlier in today's podcast that your mind cannot tell the difference between what it's looking at and when you close your eyes, what you're visualizing and using your imagination. Use this awe-inspiring power to reinvent yourself, to create the newest, greatest life in whatever category you want to, whatever category you want to. Imagination, my fellow brothers and sisters, is truly the indication of your life's coming attractions. Please pay close attention to it. Use a superpower wisely. It's one of your 6 higher faculties. I try to have acronyms to help you remember things. WIPRIM, WIPRIM, will, imagination, perception, reason, intuition, and memory. This is the second letter, will, imagination, WIP. These are powers that you have that nothing else on earth, nothing else in the entire animal kingdom has these powers. Only you, with the free will you've been given. And this free will, my brothers and sisters, is a gift among gifts that you've been given. The free will, very little in this entire universe, very few entities are giving complete 100 free will. Very few species are. This is such an awe-inspiring, powerful gift you've been given. Use your imagination. You can change your entire life and create the life of your dreams through your imagination. So thank you, Mikey, for a wonderful concept to live by today.
Yeah, of course. And you think these concepts are so simple. Imagination. I mean, even little kids imagine things, but they're not, because people get into a habit and they keep doing the same things over and over. And you think that you can't make a change until you make a conscious effort to change and take action to make sure that you make that change. And that's why you give us these awesome coaching tips too. And I know that you have one to help us manifest the law of attraction today.
Yeah, Mikey, and thank you so much because you're so good at this. This is one of your many gifts. But what Mikey just mentioned, my brother says, I just want to go deeper on that for a second. So Mikey, basically paraphrase or told you how this works is you get caught in a feedback loop was what Mikey was just describing to you. So you go to a social location that you like to go to, restaurant, bar, lounge, whatever it is, some type of social gathering place, and the vibration there is low. You're hanging out with other people, their vibration is low, and you get caught in that feedback loop. You're thinking at a lower vibration, your feelings are a lower vibration, the words you're hearing and saying at a lower vibration, the actions you're taking at a lower vibration. My fellow brothers and sisters, you will never manifest what you want, if you've got goals, which you should have, your faith goal I talked to you about, etc., your most important experiences throughout the day, and even your mini experience, your intentions, you'll never have the life that you desire if you stay in that lower feedback loop that Mikey was just referring to. So your imagination is the gift you've been given that allows you, no matter what country you're in, no matter your education, no matter your financial situation, no matter the color of your skin, no matter anything, color, race, creed, country, financials, political, none of it matters. You have the ability, you are loved beyond your wildest comprehension, and you've been given these special tools for you to be able to co-create is the key word. Co-create with Source to live the life of your dreams. And on the coaching tip that we have queued up for today, and this ties in, Mikey, to the presentation that I did, and it comes up quite often in a number of presentations when I'm presenting to a room that the average human being would say something along the lines of, wow, that's a very successful room. That's a very, very successful group of people. They have everything. Wow, I just wonder what it's like to be like them, to be in that situation, to have fill in the blank what they have. And I just like to remind us, we don't want to fall into a trap such as that, my brother and sister. I talk about the big seven, and not that there's anything magical about that, but I talk an awful lot about manifesting your best life in health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, experiences, spirituality. For our brothers and sisters who are having some success manifesting, and let's just say, for example, if they've had success manifesting in the wealth category, unfortunately, they are often lacking in one or more of the other categories: physical health, mental wellness, love, relationships, experiences, spirituality, etc. So there's something in this for all of us. And when I talk about some presentations I'll give are titled Cracking the Billionaire Success Code, and I remind the audience is billionaire is just synonymous with living richly, and living richly, living like a billionaire in your physical health, living richly in physical health, living like a billionaire, living richly in your mental wellness, living like a billionaire, living richly in love, living richly in experiences, living richly in relationships, living richly in spirituality. So, my fellow brothers and sisters, we come here to further elevate and purify our spirit. That's my suggestion to you. That's what we come here for. Number one, we come here for karmic lessons. We come here for other lessons. We come here to fulfill contracts. We come here to further purify and elevate our spirit. And the number one way to do this is through co-creating with Source. When you wake up and it hits you like a lightning bolt one day that you are in charge, you are in control, and you stop playing catch and you start pitching towards that target, there goes the bullseye for physical health. There goes the bullseye for mental wellness. There goes the bullseye for wealth, for love, etc. Your life will change like you cannot even begin to imagine. So it's a Papi pep talk, and it's the easiest pep talk on earth, my fellow brothers and sisters, because all I'm doing is reminding you of the awe-inspiring talent and gifts and love that you've been given and the love that you're immersed in, greater than you can ever imagine. So thank you, Mikey, for such a wonderful topic. Thank you.
No, and thank you for that pep talk. And that just leads me right into the fact that I was going to say, like, how powerful your words are. Like, it doesn't, what you say is so powerful. And that's why the two most powerful words you always are telling us is I am. I,
Yeah.
capital A, capital M. And what follows those two words is just so important. And I know that you start all of your affirmations with the words I am so happy and grateful. And there's a reason that you use the words happy and grateful. Those are positive words, high energy words. That's why you use them. And I know that you're going to give us an affirmation that you'd like to share with us today.
Yes, thank you, Mikey. And yeah, we start off, I suggest starting off our affirmations. As Mikey said, I am so happy and grateful now, always in the present, that. And the affirmation we have to share today is from my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. I am so happy and grateful now that I know in my heart of hearts that this is the process through which I co-create with source energy, and my thought form impression is given to the formless substance as universal intelligences, creative forces are set in motion for my benefit. My fellow brothers and sisters, this is a fancy way of stating what I said earlier. When you have a thought, you have gathered and directed energy. You have made an imprint in this universe. Believe me, you made an imprint in this universe. You have started this process. I suggest in the back of my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, to go to the back of my book, and I have pages and pages of affirmations that, especially you have the audio book as well. You can listen to these. Very powerful, very uplifting, very high vibration, high frequency. So thank you, Mikey, for picking out a great one today.
You're welcome. And Pat, we have a question today from one of our listeners. I just want to remind everybody that if they do have a question, they can go to Pappy's website and click on the Ask Pappy link at the top to submit it. But today's question is manifesting essentially, if you think it, it will happen.
Yeah, Mikey, this one or some iteration or form of this comes up quite frequently. My fellow brothers and sisters, manifesting is just a fancy word for creating, and you will not create just with your thoughts, not just with positive thoughts or happy thoughts or good thoughts. It is a encompassing system of everything I mentioned earlier. Your thoughts are very important, but also your feelings, your actions, and the words before, during, and throughout is how you manifest. So it is not just thinking it. I talk about the movie The Secret by Rhonda Byrne about 20 years ago. I suggest anyone who hasn't watched, or even if you've watched it, rewatch it. Tremendous movie. And Rhonda did a phenomenal job. And it's very, very big on thoughts and feelings, but not so much on actions. Again, think it, visualize it, see it, apply emotions, apply feelings to it, take actions, and be careful for all of your words that you're speaking and hearing throughout. But manifesting is much more than just thinking. Just thinking happy thoughts or wishful thoughts or the greatest positive thoughts alone will not fully manifest what you desire into your life.
Good answer, Pappy. Thank you so much for that. And I know that you mentioned already your book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. And I just want to, you reminded me that it is literally filled with positive, uplifting information from cover to cover. Like, I love reading a page a day, and every chapter begins with a quote. And I love that. But you also reminded us that at the back of the book, it's filled with affirmations. So there's nothing in there that's not going to uplift you and change your mindset. And I just, depending on what you want, you have the physical copy. I was listening in the other day when you were talking to a gentleman, and he said that he listens to it while he's doing the treadmill. And I think, he's like, sometimes, I might be distracted, but that's still coming into your subconscious mind, all of that positivity. And like I said before, one of my favorites are the quotes that you have and just hearing them in your voice. So can you go ahead and read one of those quotes for us?
Yes, beautiful. Thanks, Mikey. And this, just in this brief quote from my book, from Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, from chapter 6, sums this up very succinctly, just gives you so much powerful information in just a couple of sentences. Thoughts are like pictures. They are powerful and start to manifest your goal. Thoughts and your pictures connected and visualized like a short film will help to manifest your goal faster. Thoughts and your pictures connected together and visualized with emotion like a full-length movie will manifest your goal fastest. Papi DiNuzzo. So I brought it all together with the last sentence, my fellow brothers and sisters. Thoughts connected together, visualized, applying emotion, taking action will manifest your goal fastest, Papi DiNuzzo. So thank you again, Mikey, for just such a wonderful, beautiful pull quote that you pulled out of the book. That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I think that's awesome. And, you are the main character in your movie. So go about your day and live like that. I think that's a great way to end
Yes.
the show. And I just want to remind everyone that if you're a successful entrepreneur looking to take your business, life, and impact to the next level, the Papi DiNuzzo Elite Manifestation Mastermind may be the answer for you. This is where high level strategy aligns with ancient wisdom within a room full of purpose meets profit entrepreneurs who are dedicated to elevating their mindset, their energy, their results, and their fellow brothers and sisters. So, if you're ready to manifest, grow, stretch, and really step into the next higher version of yourself, this mastermind was built for you. Thank you, Pappy.
Thank you, Mikey. And in closing, my fellow brothers and sisters, I always like to close on a high note. We've been on a high note all show today. Thank you, Kim, for producing, directing such a great show. Thank you, Mikey, for being such a wonderful co-host. I love your energy and your perspective, and we do get a lot of compliments on your style. So you just keep being exactly who you are, and everything just was so good today. I just love the vibration for sharing this love, and I just want to end today, my fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. You're here for a reason. There is no accidents. It's all about divine synchronicity, divine orchestration. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am very grateful for you. I love you. I love you and your loved ones and everything in your life. I'm rooting for you. I'm here to help, to hold your hand, to walk arm in arm with you, to level you up, to coach you up, to teach you these universal truths, this ancient wisdom. I'm sending you love, light, truth, and goodness. I'm sending you awakening for you to awaken, a grand awakening of the inner knowing, this gift that lives within you, and remembrance to remember for a grand remembrance. I'm sending to you right now. Please, my fellow brothers and sisters, pick a quiet time. Let this come into you and through you. Let your subconscious mind, your higher self speak to you. And especially, I send you my positive energy at this very moment. I send you my positive energy. Thank you so much. I am, I am. I am, I am. The most powerful words you can state them to yourself. Be very careful for the next word that you place after am. Anytime you state this, step into yourself, step into your power. When you're all alone, just state these words and feel how powerful it is vibrating through your body. I am, I am. I am, I am. Until we meet again, namaste, my beautiful, wonderful fellow brothers and sisters. Love from Papi and everyone at Papi Mindset Coach to you. Thank you so much. Love and blessings. Thank you. That's a wrap for this episode of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. Keep those dreams big and your mindset unstoppable. Take one step today toward the life you're manifesting because you can create anything you imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Visit PappyMindsetCoach.com for more resources and follow us at Pappy Mindset Coach on social platforms for daily inspiration. If you love this episode, share it with someone ready to transform their life. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive, and keep on manifesting your best life. See you soon.